Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today we are checking out the beautiful Razer Blade Stealth edition. This guy has Intel's 10th generation CPUs, nVidia graphics, and 2 weeks worth of Dr. Nora's usage for it. So how have you been enjoying the show with this laptop?
I have actually, on the whole, enjoyed this laptop quite a bit, and I'll tell you a few reasons why. So I've got my pros and my cons. So first up, it was actually quite light to carry around, and if you guys out there have felt the 16 inches, it's pretty heavy, isn't it? Know what I mean? This, comparably, is a lot lighter, it's a lot more easy, a lot more mobile, and the best thing I've got to say that supersedes everything is the fan noise. Yes, I know what you're thinking. My boy, AC over here, he's got OCPD. But guys, the struggle is real, okay? When you listen to the 16-incher whirring away on its fans and you come to this and there is literally no sound, you're like, oh my God, my life is so different.
There's a bit of sound, but it's like
nothing compared
to
the
75% quieter.
Way quieter. And when you kind of focus and you're studying, you really want to get your head in gear, and this is just so much quieter. I've got to say also, in going on from that as well, when you open it, it is quite cute. So the screen is cute, it's got a cute little trackpad, but one of the hardest things for me, personally going from a MacBook to this, was adjusting to the keys, okay? I kept constantly hitting the shift key because of the awkward location that it's in. I think it's just because the keyboard is so small, so your fingers go
I
straight.
struggled with that too, because the size of the shift key on the right is tiny, whereas on the left it's huge. We're used to the huge ones on the right.
Yeah.
Because even the MacBook Pro 13-incher, it's got one of those weird up, down, left, rights, but it's in one row, so you do have an enlarged shift key.
Yeah.
It is a big difference. You also didn't like the trackpad, did you?
No, what I found was the trackpad, it is sensitive, but it was really hard to click down. So there was only a maximal sensitivity area from about midway upwards. Anything lower than that, it was really hard to click and select. So I felt that the trackpad could be better improved.
What about performance? Did you feel it slow?
You know what, it did really well. Okay, so I had 4 different browsers on, and I was even using an external monitor as well. And I had like 100 different tabs, probably a bit too much of an exaggeration, but I had like 20 tabs open. And literally I had no struggles. It wasn't kind of slowing down. It worked really well.
What kind of applications do you use? Excel, Word?
Excel, Word, I was using Chrome, I was
Anything
using
intensive?
Safari. I didn't use anything like any video editing apps because I didn't have it on here, but nothing much more than that.
But launching applications worked fine.
Yeah.
I played games on this beast. I was playing Gears of War. You can see right there, 60 frames a second, ultra on the nVidia graphics. Yeah, you can play games on it. I can even turn off the graphics. I turned off nVidia graphics, running on the 10th generation standard flat, and it ran Gears of War. 20 frames a second. Now let's do a little bit of Unreal Engine. Launching out of the box. As you can see, this processor just runs really fast. Look at that, 83%, 90%. And boom, in under a minute, we got it launched on the screen. Walking around in this level, very smooth to animate. Clicking on objects, I can select. Gotta say, this is a really great performer on such a mobile system. Can you see this? Look at the smoothness. Actually, this is the kind of engine that they use to make PS4, PS5 games. The AAA games, Gears of War, all that kind of stuff was made in this engine. And you can do it too on this laptop, compiling shaders in the background. Okay, it's a bit slower, obviously, because it's only got 4 cores, but it's still getting the job done. And editor performance, look at that, it's very smooth. Really good. 1080p is a boon for this screen, but I didn't like that resolution. Did you like it?
No, I did feel like I'd walked into 1995. I was a bit like,
it wasn't that bad.
My eyes.
It wasn't that bad.
My eyes.
One great thing about Windows that I have to just show you is if you go into display settings here, you can change the size and scale of the screen. So for example, I'm going to make it 175, and look at that, all the icons, all the text, it just gets magnified. It's a lot easier to read at my old age.
You know when you go from like a super high quality thing to like a bit of a lower quality thing, you think, oh my God, I've walked into the past. So this could be, I'd say, if you're going to improve this, like just improve the screen of it, like get the retinal screening that Apple have got.
That's the problem, because you're using your phone, iPhone 11 Pro, retina screen, using MacBook Pro has a nice screen. This guy going back full HD, it's a bit behind the tech. It's 13 inches, so it's not that big.
It's not that big. It kind of reminded me of my small it reminded me of my small MacBook Air, so it was kind of cute like that. One thing I have to say that probably is I'm a bit too old to appreciate this, but maybe somebody out there might appreciate it, is the colourful keys.
She hated it. She hated it. The keys, they cycle in different colors every now and then. You can set it to your own color scheme. You can even turn it off. But default
cute.
setting, colors, you hated it, right?
Red, then green, then blue. And I imagine if you're playing games on this, you probably want to like immerse yourself in the colors, and you've got the boom box here, and you've got your speakers there, and you've got your monitor there. But yeah, for me, as a professional, I probably felt a bit silly.
Yeah, but you can turn it off, so that's a boon for it. And I gotta say a couple of things. What about the sound?
Yeah. No, well, it's not as good as the MacBook Pro, obviously.
Yeah. So it sounded like basic laptop speakers. What about battery life?
Well, I always had it plugged in, to be honest.
There you go. This is our level of specification of interviews right here. You're getting the latest in tech. How is the battery life?
But I'll say, like, when I did have it not plugged in on those rare occasions, it did seem to do.
No, but you always took it to the other side.
I did, but I always had it plugged in.
Always?
I literally always had it plugged in.
I'll have to fill you in on the battery life.
It's fill me on the battery life, but I think for the moments I didn't have it plugged in, which were very short-lived, like it did okay.
One thing about the battery life, it's using Intel's 10th generation CPUs, 10 nanometer parts. It only eats up, actually in this configuration, it only eats up 15 watts of energy even when it's turbo boosting, compared to the MacBook Pro, which eats up over 90 watts. So yeah, the battery is good. Button over here, power settings, you click it and you get to extend the battery life or max out the performance.
This is more economical as well then, financially.
Yeah, if you're worried about what
you're worried about electricity bills.
$10 a year extra payment. Other things you want to notice about this laptop?
Well, I'd say, like, on the whole, for a 2-week kind of like a lone laptop, whilst my laptop was getting fixed, I was not wholly like functionless. I didn't hate it, and I could function on it. And if I had to use it for another month or two, I would be quite content. Like, I didn't feel like there was something missing. Probably the only thing I really missed was not having Final Cut Pro, so I couldn't edit things. But I'd say, on the whole, if you're just looking for a good laptop that does its job and goes from A to B, this is probably not a bad go. This is not a bad go-to option, I'd say.
From my perspective, I really love this laptop. It was really enjoyable going back into Windows, and something that I loved. I've got this eGPU system right here. Magnetized. I've got a MacBook Pro. Whenever I go to Windows on my MacBook Pro and I try plugging in my eGPU, non-functionality, it just does not work whatsoever. Whereas this laptop, it's got one Thunderbolt 3 port. You can plug the eGPU in there and it just works. There is a couple of nuances. For example, if you unplug it and then replug it back in, you need to restart Windows for it to work again. Whereas on macOS, you can just do that little shuffle until it decides to reset itself. But you also get USB-A ports.
I know, right?
So
old school.
Old school. It actually worked kind of well. One thing I didn't like though is that it's only really one Thunderbolt 3 port, because if you try using, this side does power. It doesn't power from this side. So yeah, you only really get one TB3 ports, and the other one's for power, and the USB-A ports lets it down. If it was 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports, I really struggle with that word, 3. Trying to improve my THs over here.
But you could probably just get a dongle, right? You could just attach it with a dongle and you can just get an extension to it.
Yes, so yeah.
And that's kind of what you
but
can do.
But it was really convenient having one USB-A at least, because there are some.
It is really good.
Yeah,
You're right.
I really enjoyed that experience with it.
It was really good. Like, I could put in my Bluetooth for my keyboard. I could put in the mouse.
And it's light. And something you want to notice that you don't get on other laptops, it's got a nice raised stand. So the bottom part here, over here, it's slightly taller than the front part over here, which means it's kind of like triangular, so you get a lot more airflow than you would on other laptops. So overall, I gotta say, this is a very solid piece of laptop. Definitely. I was a bit scared of Razer, because I thought gaming laptop means it's going to be noise city.
Really?
Yeah, because gaming laptops, they are very noisy. And everyone's been saying MacBook Pro, they're the quietest laptops in town. I found this guy to be quiet. Really, it was a fiend. Yeah. I was using it, lots of tabs, everything working. Regarding performance, I'll fill you in a little bit of details there. So this guy has Intel's 10th gen CPUs as well as nVidia's graphics cards, which means when they're both turned on, and it's turned on by default, you only get 15 watts of energy going into the CPU. So the CPU actually operates slow. So over here you can see that we're only using 10 watts, 12 watts of energy, and the CPU is going 1.8 gigahertz. And that is very, very slow. It doesn't go as fast as it can. Obviously, it's fast enough to get the job done in Excel, Word, spreadsheet, all that kind of stuff. But if you want maximum performance, if you disable the nVidia GPU, you get up to 25 watts of CPU usage, so you get 50% more CPU power. That's really so if you plug in an eGPU, disable NVIDIA GPU, you get a really powerful CPU over here, and you get a really powerful GPU. So this can be a beast, a workhorse in that configuration. Probably, if I'm suggesting to buy which one to get, I'd get the one without the NVIDIA graphics. The NVIDIA graphics does get you 2x better graphical performance. So when I was playing Gears of War, I can get a lot more graphical power, a lot more frame rate with the GPU enabled, the NVIDIA one. But when I had the GPU disabled and I was using Intel's graphics, they've really improved in 10th generation.
Impressive.
So I was actually getting Gears of War running on this laptop, and I could play it. I can do it 720p, I can get it done. So yeah, if I'm considering maybe the new laptops coming out with 10th gen CPUs, the vanilla graphics inside Intel are very, very good. And if you use the vanilla graphics without the discrete graphics, the on top ones, you get more CPU performance, and the fan noise is still just as good. So I really actually, I enjoyed this laptop. I like it. It's very, it looks nice and stylish. It's very black. There's no like Razer, the logo there is very transparent, very minimal. It's not like a tramp stamp in some other laptops. It doesn't have the, it does have a chin. It would have been nicer if it was it a better aspect ratio? Because the screen's a bit small, but you are using it with an external monitor.
Yeah, but you know, you're saying all of that stuff, I'm thinking like, should I just trade in my Mac for this? Because it runs games and it does all the stuff that I want, and it's not got a fan.
That's the problem,
so why would I not use this over a Mac?
Because you were flying with this laptop. The only thing you were missing was Final Cut Pro, because you love that app.
So can you put Final Cut Pro on this?
No, you can't. It's just, yeah.
Okay, that's annoying.
Okay, food for thought. If you are considering a Windows laptop, I really enjoyed my experience with this. Sounds like you enjoyed your experience with that.
I enjoyed it, definitely. There was just a few quirks, but actually you can get away with all those things. You can use an external monitor, you can use an external keyboard. You know, that will fix the resolution. You can get speakers, and you could just use this as your power horse. And it's so tiny, you could just put it on the corner of your desk.
Very light, yeah.
And it's light and it doesn't make a noise. Like, it doesn't make much noise as compared to the MacBook Pro.
But on the negative, of course, low resolution screen, awful sound. It's got the shift key that's too small. And that's probably it.
But you can overcome all of that with external stuff. So.
This is the best laptop Windows I've used in my life. Not saying much because I've been a Mac guy all my life. Maybe I'll check out the Dells one day. But overall, I say this is a good buy. 10th gen CPUs, get them. And look at the presentation. Amazing. Look at that. Oh, beautiful stuff. Hope you guys found this video useful. Let us know, what is the best Windows laptop to get? Is it the Razer Blade? Is it the Razer Blade Stealth? Or is it something else? Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
I'm convinced. Can I buy it from you? Sold to the highest bidder. I do like it now. I don't think I want to return it.
Really?
Well, you've made it sound so good. You convinced me.
What about my argument did you like?
Well, I like the fact that you can get the CPU really high and the graphics, so you can play games on it. And it still does all of the other stuff. The only thing it doesn't do is the Final Cut Pro. Everything else is like, it's a dream laptop.
Dream laptop. You know they do a 15-inch version.
Do they? Well, that'd be heavier.
I'm scared because it might be noisy.
Might make more noise, exactly.
But overall, yeah, it's been nice.
Pretty cool, isn't it? All right, that was a fun review. Thanks for having me on
your
show.
That being said, I'm going to say one thing. She was super excited when she got her MacBook Pro back.
I was.
She was like, I hate this laptop! I hate this laptop! I got my laptop back!
It's true, I was a bit like that, wasn't I? Mwah. See you guys later.